Hello, this is the TradeSite U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday, January 3rd and Friday the 4th of 2019. Welcome to the new year. As usual, we don't typically do a market preview for Friday as the markets will slow down and have usually played out most of the week, but this is obviously an unusual week. We've had markets gap down to start the year on Wednesday, recovered that gap, and now Apple has gone and reported that they are going to miss their numbers due to some issues in China. And so for tomorrow, we are showing a fairly heavy gap down in the futures. So we'll see what we get. Obviously, in the morning, things can change. But at the moment, we've got the S&P showing down like 32 points and the NASDAQ 100 showing down 137. And that's not pretty. So here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. And like I said, we basically didn't do a lot today. We had been down on the pre-market and gapped down and then came back up. And let's go through the daily charts of the major indices. Then we'll look at the intraday action. Then we'll go from there. So crude oil futures down 94 cents to 45.60. We do have that 13 buy signal in place, and the risk line has not broken there. Gold down or up $5.90. S&P cash gains $3.18, 3.18 points. NASDAQ 100 up 3.91. Puts it right at the 10-day moving average. The SOX up 10.13. The Biotech's up 17.64. Russell 2000 up 7 points. Not a big deal there. The VIX loses 2.20 down to 23.22. Remember, we've never gotten the VIX over 40 like you usually do when you get a bottom. So we're still looking for that. The trend 1.14. That puts the 10-day moving average at 1.22. Doesn't really tell us much. The NASDAQ volume 2.3 billion shares. That's okay. But not as much as we've been seeing lately. So, first day back to start the year. Not everybody's back. Some of the big boys are on vacation for the rest of this week still. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ plus 1184, so that's positive. On the New York, it was plus 1210. Probably not going to be that strong tomorrow. Google gains 9.72. Apple gains 18 cents, literally. Netflix closed plus 0, dead even Netflix. What's the odds of that on $260 stock? Amazon up 37.16. Tesla down 22.68. Facebook up 4.59. Goldman Sachs gains 4.98. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average up only 18 points, which doesn't really matter either. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, gained 64 cents. This is interesting. This thing's almost back, although it just got, this should be a 13. There's a 13 seeker sell signal now on the TLT. But still, this is almost the highs of last year on the bonds. Think about that with rates going up. Very, very, very unusual. All right, in terms of the broad markets, you can see here's the gap down on the 5-minute charts of the ES. Gap down, it took us about an hour and a half to fill. Fooled around both ways after that and then closed about even. NASDAQ side, kind of the same story. Gap down, took an hour and a half to fill. Tested the highs of the last couple of days prior and closed slightly green and in the money. So that's it. I mean, there's not much else to discuss. It's not going to matter because the futures are obviously showing a very negative opening for tomorrow, so that's not going to change. Nothing we see here is going to change that. In terms of economic data, on Thursday, we've got the Challenger job cuts an hour before the bell. ADP non-farm employment change. Sorry, the Challenger job cuts are 2 hours before the bell. ADP non-farm employment change at 8:15. And Eastern unemployment claims, that's the weekly number, initial and continuing, an hour before the bell. ISM manufacturing PMI and prices 30 minutes into the market. Total vehicle sales in the afternoon. On Friday, we still have the unemployment rate for December, along with non-farm unemployment change. Our employment change number, that's the big one. We have the final services PMI, Fed chair speaks, natty gas at 10:30, crude oil at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then it's the weekend. So remember the rule, as goes the first 3 days of January, so goes the market. The opposite will be the rest of January. Unfortunately, we haven't really done much here. We've literally with the S&P up 3 points. You can't really say anything definitive happened. So we'll be looking at Thursday and Friday to define that, if anything, and see what we get. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday and